Picture this. You're 5 months into dating someone who feels like the one. The candlelit dinners, the late-night talks, the butterflies, it's all magic. But then, the waiter slides the check across the table, and the vibe shifts. Your heart races. Do you reach for your wallet? Do they? Or is this the moment where unspoken expectations could unravel everything? What if the way you handle this bill decides the fate of your romance? Buckle up, because on Date Guide, we're diving into the sizzling question that's got every dater on edge. Who should pay after months of dating? Trust me, this advice could save your next date and your heart. Let's cut to the chase. You're 4 or 5 months into a relationship, and that old school, the guy always pays rule is starting to feel like a script from a bygone era. Maybe you've been splitting the bill sometimes, or maybe one of you is still covering every tab. But here's the truth bomb. If you're stuck in a mindset where one person, man or woman, has to foot every bill, you're not building a relationship. You're building a power imbalance. And that's a recipe for resentment. Data backs this up. Over 60% of couples clash over money early on, and the who pays debate is often the spark. So, let's break it down with some real talk to keep your love story thriving. First off, let's debunk the myth that the man must pay to prove he's a gentleman. Sure, it feels chivalrous, and there's a certain charm to treating your date. But if you're a woman who expects every dinner, coffee, or movie ticket to be covered without ever offering to chip in, you're sending a message. My time is worth more than yours. Flip that around. Guys, if you never offer to split or take turns, you're also missing the mark. The goal isn't to keep score. It's to show mutual respect. If you're not both at least trying to contribute by month 5, something's off. It's not about the dollars. It's about the dynamic. Here's a quick gut check. If you're on a date and neither of you even gestures to split the bill, it's like showing up to a potluck with nothing but a fork. You're not taught right. A relationship at this stage should feel like a partnership, not a transaction. If you're a guy feeling pressured to always pay, or a woman feeling like you're owed a free ride, pause and ask, is this about love or leverage? The answer might sting, but it's better to face it now than 6 months down the road when resentment's piled higher than those unpaid tabs. So what's the move? It's simple but powerful. Both of you should offer to contribute, not because you're splitting hairs, but because it signals you're in this together. But here's the suspense. What if one of you never offers? Could that be the red flag that predicts your breakup? Stick with me, because next we're diving into why fairness is the ultimate love language and how one small gesture can change everything. Don't blink. You're about to rethink dating forever. You're sitting across from your date, 5 months into this whirlwind romance, and the check lands on the table like a ticking time bomb. Your heart skips. Will they offer to split it? Will you? Or is this the moment where a tiny gesture, or lack of one, reveals a truth that could derail your love story? Last time on Date Guide, we exposed the trap of expecting one person to always pay, and now the stakes are higher. What if the secret to a lasting relationship isn't about who grabs the bill, but how you show up as a team? Get ready, because we're diving into part 2 of this dating advice saga, unpacking the philosophy of fairness and contribution that could make or break your connection. Trust me, this one shift in mindset might just save your next date from disaster. Let's be real. By month 4 or 5, your relationship isn't just about butterflies and candlelit dinners anymore. You're past the honeymoon phase, and the little things, like how you handle a restaurant tab, start to reveal big truths. If you're still stuck in a dynamic where one person always pays, whether it's the guy playing the chivalrous card or the woman assuming it's his role, you're not building a partnership. You're building a hierarchy. And hierarchies, they're kryptonite to love. The truth is, fairness isn't about splitting every bill 50-50. It's about treating your partner like you'd treat your best friend. Think about it. If you went out with your bestie, would you expect them to cover every meal, every coffee, every movie ticket? No way. You'd offer to chip in, maybe grab the next round, or bring snacks for a movie night at their place. It's not about the money. It's about mutual respect. Here's where it gets juicy. If you're dating someone who never offers to contribute by this stage, it's a red flag waving louder than a foghorn. I'm not saying they need to match your wallet dollar for dollar, but the gesture matters. If they're not even trying, whether it's offering to cover the tip, planning a low-cost date, or just saying, "Hey, I got the coffee this time," it's a sign they might see you as a convenience, not a partner. And let me tell you, that feeling of being taken for granted, it's a slow poison. I've been there, dating someone who never once reached for their wallet. At first, I brushed it off, thought I was being generous. But after a few months, it hit me. This wasn't about generosity. It was about them not showing up. The absence of effort spoke louder than any sweet words. Now, let's flip the script and talk about fairness in a practical way. Not everyone's bank account is created equal, and that's okay. If your partner's pulling in 5 times what you earn, nobody expects you to bankroll a weekend at a 5-star resort. But here's the deal. Contribution isn't just about cash. It's about intention. Maybe you can't afford a fancy dinner, but you can cook a killer pasta night at home or suggest a free hike with a picnic. If your date wants to splurge on a $1,000 getaway and you're scraping by, it's on them to say, "I want this for us, so I've got it." That's not you mooching. It's them leading with love. But if you're the one with less cash, show up with what you've got. Offer to cover the gas, bring a dessert, or plan a date that's light on the wallet, but heavy on thoughtfulness. That effort, it's like a love letter that says, "I'm in this with you." This mindset of proportional contribution is where the magic happens. It's not about keeping a ledger or splitting every bill down to the penny. It's about showing you value the relationship as much as they do. Imagine you're planning a vacation together, and you earn a fraction of what your partner does. You don't have to pay half the plane tickets, but you could say, "Hey, I'll cover our meals one day," or "I found this cool free activity for us." That gesture screams teamwork, and trust me, it lands. It shows you're not just along for the ride, you're invested. And if your partner's the one with deeper pockets, they should be cool with covering more, not because they have to, but because they want to share the experience with you. That's the difference between obligation and affection. But here's the flip side, and it's where things get sticky. If you're the one always paying and your partner never offers, not even a token gesture like grabbing a coffee, it's time to pause. Ask yourself, do they treat this relationship like a partnership, or am I their personal sponsor? I've seen it happen. Someone I dated expected me to cover everything, from dinners to weekend trips. At first, I thought it was just how things were. But then I noticed they never even said, "I'll get the next one." It wasn't about the money. It was about feeling used. Compare that to someone else who'd insist on paying for ice cream or planning a free stargazing date. The difference wasn't the cost. It was the respect. That's what keeps a relationship alive. So here's the advice you need to hear. By month 5, both of you should be showing up with effort, not excuses. Contribution is a love language, and it's not about matching dollars. It's about matching energy. If you're not both trying to meet halfway, even in small ways, you're not building a future. You're building a fault line. But what if your partner's still not stepping up? What's the one move that could prove they're all in without breaking the bank? And what happens if that move never comes? Don't touch that screen. Part 3 is coming, and we're about to reveal the ultimate test of respect that could change how you date forever. Stay locked in, because this is where it all comes together. The dinner's done, the plates are cleared, and there it is, the check, sitting like a silent judge on the table. You're 5 months deep into dating, heart racing, wondering if this moment will cement your bond or crack it wide open. Will your partner offer to split it? Will you? Or is this the night you discover a truth that could flip your entire relationship upside down? Welcome to the final act of our date guide saga, where we're peeling back the last layer of the who pays debate to reveal the ultimate secret to lasting love. Spoiler alert, it's not about the money, it's about respect. But what's the one gesture that proves your partner's all in? And what happens if it's missing? Stay glued, because this advice could be the key to unlocking a relationship that thrives, or walking away before it's too late. By now, you've heard the truth. After 4 or 5 months, dating isn't just about romance. It's about partnership. We've busted the myth that one person, usually the guy, should always pay, and we've explored why fairness means showing up as a team, not a transaction. But here's where we tie it all together with a bow. The real game changer isn't splitting the bill, it's the gesture of proportional contribution. This is the moment where you see if your relationship is built on mutual respect or if it's teetering on a shaky foundation. Let's dive into why this matters and how one small move can reveal everything about your future together. Picture this. You're planning a date night, maybe a cozy dinner, or a weekend getaway. You're not rolling in cash, but your partner's got a bigger budget. Does that mean they should cover everything while you sit back? Nope. Contribution isn't about matching their wallet. It's about matching their effort. If they're splurging on a fancy hotel, you don't need to go halfsies on a $1,000 tab. But you can offer something, a coffee run, a homemade dessert, or even just the words, "Hey, I'll get the next round." That gesture, no matter how small, says, "I value us." It's like planting a seed for a relationship where both of you show up, no matter the size of your paycheck. Now, let's get practical. Proportional contribution means playing to your strengths and your means. If you're earning less, don't stress about matching their $100 steak dinner. Instead, bring your A game in other ways. Plan a picnic with sandwiches you made yourself. Suggest a free museum day or a sunset walk with hot chocolate you bought. These aren't just budget-friendly moves. They're signals that you're invested. I've been on dates where someone insisted on paying for everything, but it felt hollow because they never showed up in other ways. No effort to plan, no thoughtfulness, just cash. Then there was someone else who'd cover a $5 coffee or bring a playlist for a car ride. Guess who felt like a partner? The one who tried, not the one who threw money at the date. But here's the suspenseful twist. What if your partner never offers to contribute? 5 months in, and they're still letting you cover every bill without so much as a, "Let me get this one." That's not just a quirk. It's a warning. It's not about the money. It's about what their inaction says. If they're not showing up now when the relationship is still fresh and shiny, what happens when things get tough? Will they step up for the big stuff, emotional support, shared responsibilities, or will they coast, expecting you to carry the load? I've learned this the hard way. Someone who never offers to chip in, even symbolically, is often someone who sees the relationship as a one-way street. And that's a road to nowhere. Let's flip it for a second. If you're the one with more cash, don't lord it over your partner. If you want to treat them to something special, a fancy dinner, a weekend trip, do it because you want to share the experience, not because you expect them to owe you. But here's the catch. If they're not meeting you halfway with some kind of effort, it's time to have a real talk. You don't want to feel like a bank account with a pulse. A relationship where one person always pays and the other never tries isn't a partnership. It's a transaction. And transactions don't build love. They build resentment. So, here's the ultimate advice. By month 5, look for the gesture. It's the little things that reveal the big picture. Does your partner offer to split the bill, even if you wave it off? Do they plan a thoughtful, low-cost date to balance things out? Do they show gratitude when you treat them, or do they act entitled? These are the clues that tell you if you're with someone who respects you as an equal. I remember a date where my partner insisted on paying for our ice cream cones, $6 total, but the way they said, "I got this," with a grin made me feel like we were a team. Compare that to someone who never offered, always expecting me to cover dinner. The difference wasn't the cost, it was the respect. If you're wondering how to make this work, start small. Next date, try saying, "Hey, I'll grab the drinks," or "Let's take turns planning nights." If your partner pushes back or never reciprocates, don't ignore it. Have an honest conversation. "I love treating you, but I'd feel great if we shared this sometimes. What do you think?" Their response will tell you everything. If they step up, you're building something real. If they dodge or deflect, you might be staring at a deal breaker. Here's the final hook. The gesture of contribution isn't just about dating. It's the foundation for everything that comes next. If you can't share a $20 pizza now, how will you share a life later? The way you handle these moments at month 5 could predict whether you're headed for forever or a fallout. So, keep your eyes open, your heart honest, and your wallet ready to meet halfway. Your next date isn't just a night out, it's a test of respect. And trust me, you don't want to miss the signs.